85% of men in their 30s feel unfulfilled and far from their best life, but only 10% are actually leading epic lives. I want to make sure that you're in the top 10%, and it doesn't start one day, it starts on day one. My name is David, and this channel is all about sustainable sobriety and lifestyle optimization through simple habits. This video is 12 life-changing lessons I wish I knew in my 30s. I'm 43 now, so we're kind of going back a decade so I can help you out so you don't make the same mistakes I did. So the first thing that I wish I knew in my 30s is to take responsibility. That is to adopt extreme ownership as a mindset in all areas. I don't want you to make the same excuses that I was making when I turned 30. And sometimes that can lead to people playing the victim card. And we see a lot of that these days. It's not cute and you don't want to be that guy. But you are responsible for the energy that you bring into a space. So don't blame others. Don't criticize, which is super easy. I find myself doing that all the time. You know, I'm still learning these lessons into my 40s. And don't ask for handouts because nobody owes you anything. And so extreme ownership, if it's going to be, it's up to me. The second lesson is activate your self-discipline. This, I believe, is at the core of masculinity, to become self-disciplined, not relying on external motivation, which is always fleeting, but cultivating that self-discipline from within. Control of self will balance you and inspire others. I know that's like, in my case, when I see other men who have self-control, that's inspiring. I want some of that. And so it becomes a daily practice. We learned through self-discipline to do what is essential and not expedient. Not looking for life hacks or the fast track to success in life, but doing what is essential in each moment. That takes self-discipline. And that means that, you know, immediate gratification, which is so easy to fall into that trap, it's immature. So in the spectrum of immaturity as a child into adulthood maturity, immediate gratification is something we want to transcend as soon as possible. Moving on to number 3 is build good habits and stay consistent. You know, I read the book Atomic Habits, which you can find through the link in the description, take you to my website where I have the show notes, book recommendations, resources, and more. Atomic Habits is a really good book about building habits. And this is something I wish I would have started in my 30s, but I didn't because I was fucking around way too much. But start small with your habit practice and go for the easy wins. That's going to make building good habits and getting rid of bad ones a whole lot easier. And I recommend that you track habits and celebrate the streaks. If you repeat a good habit over the course of 2 days, which can be a big deal, or a week, track it. There's a lot of habit tracking apps out there. I use Streaks. And it syncs between the phone, computer, and watch. And then curate your environment to encourage that behavior that you want to reinforce. Curate your environment, which means getting rid of things that will distract and tempt, and keeping it's minimalism, really. It's just keeping the few things around you that's going to reinforce positive behaviors. And this practice will build trust in yourself. I didn't trust myself for a long time. I'm still having a hard time with that because I let bad habits take me down a road that was not very productive. So building trust comes from good habits on a daily basis. And it raises self-esteem and confidence, which is a big deal for men. I guess there's a lot of guys out there I see online anyway, where they're lacking confidence. And so it starts with those habits and building trust and self-esteem. And that consistency compounds over time. Number 4 lesson that I wish I would have known in my 30s, giving you these little life tips here, is to get your money mindset right. This is a big one for me. These are all big ones. These are the top ones for me. I wish I would have studied financial literacy and taken action on it. I had half-heartedly read some financial books back then, but I didn't take action on them. A book does you no good unless you put the lessons into practice. And so study financial literacy, take action on it, and then pay yourself first before spending those paychecks. Man, out of all the hundreds of jobs I had, mostly restaurant industry for 24 years, I would get a paycheck and spend it all, usually on booze, mostly rent if I could, not always, but I never paid myself. But that's a key lesson there. And budget and track your finances. Set budget goals for different categories and track in your app of choice. I like to use Copilot for tracking finances. I can see where my money's going, so I can start to become more conscious of it and develop that financial literacy. It's not too late to get started in your 40s, but imagine if you would start in your 20s or 30s. So those, and then, investing in a diversified stock portfolio. There's books on this, links in the description for the resources on my website. Those returns compound over time to create financial freedom later in life. So I started investing a little bit a few years ago, but I didn't take it seriously even, but I wish I would have, in my 30s. So I don't want you to be broke and regretful in your old age. To be completely transparent, even at my age of 43 right now, because of my poor choices earlier in life, I don't have any money to show for anything. I haven't put anything in savings. It's a little embarrassing, actually, but I'm working on a new business right now for ghostwriting, and I'm 100% invested, committed. All of my time is going to this YouTube channel and my writing career and my family. Anyway, moving on to number 5 is position yourself for success early. I want you to think about hustling now so you can have time liberation later in life. That's different from retirement, by the way. I'm not talking about retirement because I don't want to stop learning, creating, and working and serving until the day I die. But hustle now so you can have time liberation later. I'll get to that more in a moment. But you think you have all the time in the world right now when you're young, but you don't. It really seems like it, but you don't. Time goes by fast. And so learn the skill of effective time management as soon as you can. I'm realizing right now that effective time management is one of the most important skills, because no matter what you're doing in life, if you can't manage your time, you won't get anything done. The days will fly by, and the weeks and the years, and then you're dead. So visualize your ideal future lifestyle and reverse engineer that and make a plan. So who do you want to be and where do you want to be before you die? And then reverse engineer that back to what do you need to do this year, this week, and today to get that done. And then put it in your calendar. Bypass your to-do list. I'm going to be making more videos on this topic specifically, but I'm realizing that the to-do list is actually not effective at time management. I'm throwing my to-do list out and just using the calendar only. So try different things when you're young, but you got to pick one eventually. I think it's important to look at life like a tasting menu and try different things, find what you like and you don't, but eventually you're going to have to pick one. For your business, for example, you're going to have to niche down your service offerings. You don't want to be a jack of all trades who does it all for anyone. You have to niche down and pick what really moves you inside and do that and offer that only. It'll take you further. That's what I'm learning now. So I'm just going to move on to number 6 here, which is get married and have kids sooner. I was on the fence for way too many years about this, unsure because of other things I would see in the political and news realm in the world and all this. The world's a complex, crazy place. And so I never made up my mind about it until recently, but I wish I would have done it sooner. So, the thing is, for a man, I got to tell you straight up here, okay? All women are crazy. And so you're just going to have to stick with the least crazy one. I've been with some crazy bitches. In fact, the one before Tracy, who I got married to, I actually had to get a order of protection from the court on her because she wouldn't leave me alone. She was batshit crazy. It was insane. So much stress, unnecessary stress. But anyway, Tracy, you know, she's got some craziness about her. I do too. We all do. But by far, she's the least craziest out of all the women I've been with. And through my 20s and 30s, man, I was with a lot of women. So they're all crazy, I can tell you that. But it's just in a spectrum of craziness. And so commitment, I believe, is a key trait for grown men. The ability to quit bebopping around with different fleeting things and women and all this, but eventually you're going to want to commit. And that means getting married to the least craziest woman. The least craziest, most happy. For me, that was Tracy. Listen, you're never going to feel ready to have kids, but you will figure it out. We had a kid and we don't have a lot of money, but man, we are figuring it out. And it really helps to have a healthy relationship with the man and woman because we can support each other back and forth. You'll never feel ready, but you will figure it out. And fatherhood, I'm learning, will expedite maturity and perspective. Before kids, for me, everything in life was opinion-based and conceptual. But now, my perspective, it's more experiential. And there's a world of difference between the two. And having kids will teach you that. So have a bigger family before you get too old. That's my recommendation. Because if I had gotten started sooner with marriage and, well, you never know because I was with really crazy bitches, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're with a good woman right now, marry her, have kids, because then you can have multiple kids, bigger family. Think about being old and having 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 kids growing up and you have good, healthy relationships with them. And that's where it's at. That's one of the most essential things for humanity and life. So anyway, moving on to number 7 is get off your ass and move your body more. That's what I wish I would have done back then. So take more breaks during work hours. This is a hard one to do, especially if you're a go-getter, creative guy. Take more breaks. You got to set that Pomodoro timer and tear yourself off of the screen and go outside, bounce around a little bit, take some deep breaths, and then get back to work. And I would recommend making yoga a more regular practice. It doesn't have to be intense hour-long yoga sessions, 5-minute yoga sessions. Drop on the mat and go back and forth in those flows. Open up the back, you know, so we can take care of our body. Go for a walk every day. It's so easy to do, but so easy to not do. Reminders to myself along with you. But go for a walk every day. Simple, effective. Get a Bellicon rebounder, link in description, my favorite trampoline style rebounder. You can bounce and get the lymphatic system going, stimulate that body, kind of get the blood flow going. Put on your AirPods and play your favorite tunes and just bounce for 5 minutes. And so your metabolism slows. And so I want you to take advantage of it while you're young. Things changed like that when I was 40. I started putting on weight around the waistline. It was unbelievable because I had heard it, but now I was experiencing it 3 years ago. So it's very hard for me. I got to watch my diet and all that now. So you'll thank yourself in 10, 20, 30 years for moving your body daily when you're in your 20s and 30s. So get off your ass and move your body more. Moving on to number 8 is don't get carried away with drinking. Because I was an alcoholic for 22 years, drank every day. So quit now if you have addictive behaviors. If you're an extreme kind of personality, addictive behaviors, and you find yourself drinking more than just weekends, you might probably have a problem. And I would recommend just quitting. There's really nothing good about alcohol. You can make excuses about social lubrication and all that, but there's really no benefit to it. So quit now is my recommendation and occupy that time with healthier routines. Really simple swap there. Change your inner circle if you need to, because it's that peer pressure thing and the power of our peer group. Who are you hanging out with? People who have no ambition, no goals, they're not taking action in their life, they'll drag you down. Humans always fall to the lowest common denominator. So keep that in mind. One thing I did that can really help make things real for you in your mind is to calculate the time and money that you spent on your addictive activities. Get a calculator out and think about, on average, what you spent over this last year or 10 years on your addictive behaviors. So, yeah, I talked about this in detail in some other of my sober live streams about getting your life together. It's astonishing how much time you waste and how much money goes into feeding those addictions. It does way more harm than good. And those negative consequences will catch up over time. And you don't want to get to be into your 40s and 50s being, on the short side of things. Like, like I said, I've got really nothing to show from my party days in my 20s and 30s. Just good times. I'm sure some good memories, but that's it. I wish I would have hustled more. So anyway, moving on to number 9, only value the opinions of those people in your inner circle. Most people's opinions in the world, online and stuff, are uninformed projections. We can't please everyone, so don't even try. We spend way too much mental space worrying about what other people are going to think about the things that we do and say. Waste of time. You got to learn how to not give a fuck about what other people think. And that comes from those habits that build the confidence that affect our actions and our lack of caring about what other people think. We want to worry about what the people who truly know us and care about us, what they think. Your wife, your husband, your kids, your close friends, your inner circle. Moving on to number 10 is start writing now. Writing, not riding horses, but writing words. Start writing now. I really wish I had put in more practice into this. I had a memory recently where I was like a young kid and dreaming of being a writer because I would read books all the time. And I'm inspired by the good words of good people out there. But I forgot about that dream because I spent 22 years addicted to alcohol. And it could be weed or marijuana or cannabis for you too. There's a lot of people struggling with that. Or social media, shopping, smoking, tobacco, pornography, all kinds of addictions will distract you from things that are healthy and productive, like writing, journal every day. Man, if I had journaled for over the last decade or more. And there's all kinds of great apps. I use Day One for journaling. I do it every day, sometimes in the morning and night. Writing every day, I find, helps to improve thinking. This is my goal too over the long term. Writing out gets our thoughts into words so we can think better, and then we can speak better too. And it helps with creativity. Like for scripting out YouTube videos, if you have ambitions to be a videographer, write out your thoughts, your video ideas, script it out. Like I've got a very nice looking outline that I'm reading from, and writing helps with that. So writing will serve you creatively. And write in public, online, social media. You don't have to be a novelist. I'm not talking about old days analog writing of trying to get a publisher and all that. For now, anyway, those days are over. You can be an online digital writer and write in real time to get feedback in real time by writing on social media, whether that's on X, LinkedIn, Medium, Substack, where you can do that practice every day and see what people how they're responding to it out there, so you can shift the content of your writing. It will level up your networking too, because since I've been doing it, I've got a profile on X. I actually really like it. I'm meeting a lot of great people on there. So networking expands when you commit to regular writing. And most importantly, it's a transferable skill that you can take anywhere. Like if you wanted to be a plumber, you could take that skill and move anywhere in the world with it. Well, you can be an online writer these days, which is actually my new career path. And that's something you can do from your phone, your laptop, even your watch if you dictate into it, and become a digital nomad and travel anywhere. So write every day is my advice. Moving on to number 11 is document your life every day. This is the practice I started doing a year ago. I wish I would have done it when I was 30. The media from this moment will be gold later in life. The photos and videos that you take right now, you will look back on and be glad you did. So set reminders for yourself until it becomes a habit to take photos and videos every day. You don't have to overthink it. You can keep it fun, keep it natural, and you can make these like home movies. Back in the day, well, I don't know what your age is, but back in the day, we had camcorders that you could hold with both hands and put on your shoulder. You'd rent them from the store, and but you can do it on your phone now, and just shoot casual little home movies, and then store them redundantly as backup on a cloud like Google Drive and a hard drive. So every month I will take all the photos and videos that I took of our family just doing mundane things, and I store it on my hard drive and cloud drive. That way, in the future, 10, 20, 30 years down the future, just imagine our son Miles and us will be able to look onto it, hopefully our grandchildren too, to see these days, like right now, before and after shooting this, I take a behind the scenes shot and it's a home movie. So I recommend that you document your life every day. Okay, last up is number 12, life lesson I wish I would have known when I was 30, is to learn to say no. Learn to say no well and say it more. Most things in life are idle distractions. You're going to have people and things coming at you. They want to do this and that. And more often than not, people are saying yes. But it's going to be a distraction to you. That is, if you're heading in a particular direction, if you have a North Star. Hey, come here. Oh, my wife and kid just walked in from the coffee shop. So, oh, oh. Okay. Most things in life are a distraction if you're heading in a direction, if you have goals and ambition, because the distractions, they're going to, somebody's going to want to hang out over here and there. And if you don't have time management, your days are going to fly by weeks, months, and years. So don't worry about hurting the feelings of other people. You can say no. It doesn't have to be a big, complex production, but you just say, no, thank you, I'm doing this. And you want to set healthy boundaries with your inner circle and colleagues externally. Set healthy boundaries by communicating to them that you have some essential aspects of your life that you're working on. For me, I only have 4 right now, and so it makes it really simple. I have this YouTube channel, my writing career, family life, and health. That is the movement practices that I want to do to keep up my physicality. So set your healthy boundaries and communicate what's important to you with other people. And this frees you up for the things that really matter in your life. You know that when people say, if it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. So saying no to the non-essentials frees up your life to say yes to the things that are hell yeses. And that will keep you on track for every other lesson that we've gone through in this. When you say no to the non-essentials and yes to the essentials, then you can cultivate the self-discipline, you can build those good habits, you can get your money mindset right, position yourself for success early, so you're not scrambling to make a living when you have a family and less time because you said yes to everything early in your life. You got to say no so you can have time liberation later in your life. So those are the 12 things that I wish I knew more about when I was 30. I want to share that with you to save you time, energy, and money. A lot of these are common sense, I think, but they're not commonly practiced by myself previously or other people that I see in life either. But I don't want that to be the case for you. I don't want you to be in the 85% that are struggling. I want you to be more closer to the 10% of men who are thriving, because you can do it. It is possible. Life is precious and time is short. That's not concept. That's got to be experienced. So I'm here to share that with you. So check out the link in the description. It's going to take you to my website, davidwhipple.com, where I've got my book recommendations and other resources for you that I mentioned here. And if you're going to be a new dad, like I've been, I want you to watch this video here, because I made a video on that subject. And if you want inspiration overcoming addiction, check out this playlist right here. Thanks for tuning in. My name's David. I appreciate you. Stay safe out there. Stay free. God bless. Bye-bye.